Hey guys, welcome to Wickham Road Music. I'm Pete.
And I'm Don.
And we are here reviewing gear that we love.
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's any music gear that we don't love.
True.
There is just lots and lots of gear out there, and we really enjoy getting our hands on it and reviewing it and letting you guys know what you can expect, and we're honest.
Absolutely.
Look at us. We're very
Totally
honest
trustworthy.
people. We're absolutely honest, and we will be very honest about all the gear that we review. Today, we are talking about my favorite acoustic guitar amp, Don.
I can see why.
I mean, most of the time you think of a Marshall, you're thinking Eddie Van Halen. You're thinking, man, we're going to get some serious dirt and some sound out of this. It's going to be all distorted, and we're going to get that tone, that Van Halen tone. Yeah. Well, guess what? We're not talking about that. We're talking about probably the cleanest acoustic guitar amp, one of the cleanest ones that I've ever heard. This is called the Marshall AS50D Acoustic. Now watch this. It's a PA combo, and they consider this the soloist, which means that this is your PA. When you go to a gig, you're not having to really bring anything else because you can do everything right here, and it's well designed to handle it too.
It absolutely is.
It's a gorgeous looking amp. If you take a closer look at it, you're going to see it's got the classic Marshall looking brass gold type of hardware appointments. It's using this Tolex covering, and you know, you guys, you got to realize if you're a gigging musician, you better have an amp that can withstand some of the bumps and the dings that you're going to have, you know, transporting this. And this Tolex, they do a really good job. The corners, okay, really nice glossy corners. They're very sturdy, very strong.
But they still look good.
Yeah, they still do. And also what we have here is recessed screws that are basically holding up the electronics on the inside, and it does a great job in terms of daily wear, and that's important to note because if you get something that is, you know, if it's not built properly, it's going to look terrible only after a couple of gigs, and you know, it's all about how you look. Amen?
That's right.
That's what it's all about. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of other things about this. So we're talking, this is 50 watts of solid state power. And I don't think going any lower than that is a good idea. I don't know.
Not for gigging. You know, to have this at home as a practice amp is wonderful. It'll absolutely do the job for you and then some. But to take it out and gig with it, this is your small club combo kind of, you know, small club, intimate setting kind of deal. They have the 100-watt version, which is obviously bigger, with more power. And certainly that one will dance for whatever you need it to dance for.
So 50 watts, it's got two 8-inch drivers in it. And what I've found is that with amplifiers or acoustic amps that offer the ability to plug in a microphone and maybe sing through it and things like that, what I've noticed is that if you have smaller drivers, I'm sorry.
Well, they can't touch the pedals. Oh, sorry, that was bad. It was a bad dad joke. My bad. My bad. It was awful.
Well, it does not touch the pedals because it's not effective. What happens is the sound goes out the window. It can't handle the low end, and that's really, I mean, there's a roundness that you're going to need for an acoustic guitar, okay, because an acoustic has a very broad dynamic range in terms of its sound, and the human voice, maybe not as broad as an acoustic guitar is, but it still has to be able to project, and you got to make sure that you know, that's actually happening. So a lot of great build quality here. One of the things, though, I do want to point out, okay, and maybe if Marshall's listening, they might want to take note here, because we are not endorsed by these guys at all. We love their products, and we love selling their products and using their products as well. But we want to be real careful with the speaker covering. If there is one area that you might want to just be very light about, is that, okay? If you snag this, it's going to be troublesome. So just take extra precautions when you're traveling with this amplifier that you're not snagging this front. But I mean, cosmetically, it's gorgeous. It looks absolutely beautiful. So this is a 2-channel amp, and so that gives you a couple of different options. Okay, when you're talking about having 2 channels. Here, what we have in channel 1, you basically can just, you know, 1/4 inch, you can plug in and straight, easy to maneuver, easy to play. and easy to adjust. The second channel is going to give you a couple more options though, and what we see here is we have these RCA inputs. What this is going to do for you is you're going to be able to plug in backing tracks if you want to, or if you're just going to practice, you can, practice with your iPod. Sometimes we practice with YouTube and things like that. There's a lot of backing tracks on YouTube that you can just practice with and jam with. Or if you actually have organized tunes that you play out with, and it's just you and the backing track, this is where you're going to be able to plug that in. You're going to be able to plug a microphone in. This is an XLR input on that mic, and it's going to give you professional sound right out of the gate. It's going to sound really, really good. And then we also have another instrument input. So if you had multiple, let's say, inputs that you even wanted on your guitar, now check this out. You could actually go ahead and you can go, if you had a piezo pickup for your guitar, you can go directly in here. And let's say you had a like a condenser mic or something, you can actually throw a condenser mic on it, and man, you're going to get like the best of both worlds right there if you're not going to be singing. Mm-hmm. So what we have here is we have our basic volume. I believe that's bass and treble, which is very simple to use. In the second channel, we have the same type of setup in terms of the volume and the EQ. Now, the other thing that we have here is they have a chorus DSP on here, and I'm telling you what, this chorus is luscious. Mm-hmm. Did I say luscious?
You did say luscious.
Luscious.
Very masculine word, I must say.
It is beautiful. I mean, it turns your guitar into a three-dimensional art form. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. We're going to play it here in a second so you can hear more of that. And it also has digital reverb. And so the reverb sounds just great. What I like about this, too, is that this DSP that's on here, you don't have to be a sound engineer to get these things to sound good. Goodness. Okay? All you can, a couple of knobs, you're done. You set it, forget it. Sort of like the Ronco way of playing guitar. Okay? The Ron Popeil, remember that? What was it? The Stop and Chop? What was it?
Slap Chop?
Whatever it was, the same ease of use, I should say, when it comes to an amplifier. And then it also has this anti-feedback section, and it's very effective. It works really, really well. It'll cut and notch and do whatever you need to do to keep that guitar from feeding back. And so then you have your master volume. Now, one of the cool things you can do as well, it looks like, okay, and this is sort of a little bit misleading, so that's why I'm sharing with you now, is that the channel 2 section is the area that has the DSP. That's what it looks like, but actually you can share that with channel 1 and channel 2, so they both will get that. Now, on the back side of this beautiful amplifier, we're not going to turn it around necessarily, but I'm just going to let you know, there is a DI, all right, a direct, or basically a DI box built into this thing, which means that you can go XLR directly into a PA system. Now, here's the cool thing. What they have done is they've made this to where the EQ and the volume is not being transmitted out. In other words, whatever you're doing up here is not going to affect the DA out. All right, so that means your sound guy has complete control over your tone and your volume. But it does send the reverb, and it sends the chorus. And this has got really great reverb and chorus in it. So it acts not only as your stage monitor, but then it gives flexibility to the sound guy. And the other thing, too, is this also comes, it doesn't come, there's a foot switch available, I should say. It doesn't come with the foot switch, but there's a foot switch available. And what that foot switch does, it helps to, on the fly, be able to turn the reverb on, turn the reverb off, the chorus as well. And so that's basically it in a nutshell. But we can't leave, Don, without you playing. And what I'm going to do is we're gonna craft up some tones here and let you hear. We're going to be playing this with a PRS acoustic guitar, and if you guys haven't checked out the PRS acoustics, you're missing out. These things are great, and if anybody's familiar with Paul Reed Smith makes fantastic instruments. Anybody who's anybody, or everybody who's anybody, or what's that phrase?
I think everybody should own one. Everybody
should own one, and there's a lot of pros that are endorsed by these guys, and they sound fantastic. These instruments are great. So go ahead and just jam a little bit. What I'm going to come down here a little bit, and what I'm going to do is, what you're hearing is basically a flat EQ. I mean, that's just directly out of the amplifier, no bells and whistles. Sometimes this particular amp likes to enhance the low end a little bit, so you might want to be careful when you're, when you're jamming. You might want to pull that low end down. But with this guitar, it's like this guitar was almost made for this amplifier. It sounds fantastic. The next thing that we're going to do here real quickly is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start adjusting some of the chorus settings, and I'm going to go ahead and pop it into here to channel 1. And you're right out of the gate, you can hear that sound get real wide. Okay. Now, here's one of the tricks with chorusing is what you'll do if you want to get that really nice, what I call the luscious sound. What you want to do, he's laughing, but it's luscious. Trust me, it sounds that good. Luscious. What you want to do is turn your depth all the way up, okay, and allow your speed to be all the way down or just up a little bit. And what that's going to do is it's going to cause the wave to run slower but very wide. And so that's what's going to give you that beautiful rolling tonality. It just sounds killer.
Rolling fields of green.
Rolling fields of green.
Nova.
It's a gorgeous sound. I'm sure you can hear that even through the camera. It sounds really, really good. Beautiful. You got any other points?
I just like the versatility of it.
Let me do some finger picking and see if they can't tell what that sounds like.
There you go. I mean, it's just a really, really versatile amplifier. It does anything and everything you could possibly want it to do. What more could you ask out of an acoustic amp? Than to be able to take it to gigs with you, take it home with you, and just get everything you could possibly want. All in one step.
It is gorgeous. So, if you're looking for an amplifier that can be a small PA, if you're looking for an amp that can be used just for practicing, if you are interested in using this for gigs or for your church, it's a fantastic choice. If you did need a little bit more power, they do have the 100 watt version. My suggestion is get to the store and check it out. Yep. And it's that good. It really, really is. You're getting a little taste of it, from the video, but when you hear it live and it's cranked up, it fills the store up. I mean, it's like the store is resonating with glorious sound.
Well said.
So, hey, for Wickham Road Music, we want to thank you for checking us out. My hope is that you learned something today about this wonderful Marshall acoustic amplifier, as long as I don't knock it off the stand. And we want to encourage you guys to come down to the store. We're a full-line store. We've got a lot of different amplifiers to check out, both on the electric side. We have this, obviously, for the acoustic side. We've got acoustic guitars, electric guitars. What else do they got?
Bass
Amps, bass guitars, rentals, lessons,
band and orchestra,
and percussion as well.
Percussion.
Yeah, we got percussion lines. So come on down, check us out. We hope to hear from you. Check us out at wickhamroadmusic.com.